not subscribed to our channel, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button as shown above. Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology. In today's video, I am going to cover one of the most important transits which is happening, and that is Mars or Mangal is moving into Aries or Mesh on 27th June 2022, and he is going to stay there till 9th August 2022. Now, why is this transit so important? It is important because Mars joins Rahu and Uranus in Aries, and this is a very important and significant event. Mars also crosses the Gandhanta zone on 27th June 2022, and so this transit is very important. So this transit is happening on 27 June 2022 at 6 a.m. IST, that is the Indian Standard Time, and this is the chart as on 27 June 2022, 6 a.m. IST, and you can see that Mars, represented by the letters MA, has moved from the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries. So in the sign of Aries, there are already two planets present, Rahu and Uranus. Now Rahu is in Bharani Nakshatra, Uranus is also in Bharani Nakshatra, and Mars has just entered the Ashwini Nakshatra. Now let us understand first that Mars rules two signs in the zodiac belt, the first house, that is the sign of Mesh or Aries, and the 8th house of transformation, sudden events, that is the sign of Scorpio or Vrishicka. This means Mars is entering into his own house and therefore he should be very comfortable there. But what happens is, two of the friends whom he does not like, namely Rahu and Uranus, are already present in this house, and that makes Mars somehow uncomfortable here. Now remember, Mars is transiting from the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries. Sign of Pisces is a watery sign. Sign of Aries is a fire sign. The nakshatra of Revati ends at the ending degree of Pisces, and the nakshatra of Ashwini starts at 0 degrees of Aries and goes on till 13 degree 20 minutes of Aries. So in short, Mars is crossing a border between a fire sign and a water sign, and that is called Gandhanta zone. And whenever any planet tries to cross the Gandhanta, it represents a point where fire meets water and therefore steam or smoke is generated, which means that this is a very sensitive point of time when the planet is transiting this border, and that is around 25th June to around 27th June. You will find this Gandhanta situation. And therefore Mars represents explosive events, which means that during this time when Mars is crossing the Gandhanta, there could be tsunamis, there could be volcanoes coming out of the water, and there could also be terrorist attacks, which could be over the seas, which could be over the land. But this does signify some kind of violent activities, especially in the north and the northeast regions in this time. So there is a strong possibility of such events taking place when Mars is trying to move into Aries around 25th to 27th June. Now when Mars moves into Aries, he first enters the Ashwini Nakshatra. Ashwini Nakshatra is the nakshatra ruled by Ketu. Ashwini Nakshatra is also represented by the animal horse. It also represents the doctor of the Devas, that is the Ashwini Kumars. And therefore, this nakshatra represents quickness. Mars is also a very aggressive planet. It represents fire, it represents quick action. So when Mars moves into the Ashwini Nakshatra, it is going to result in a lot of things moving quickly ahead. Lot of things that were stuck will start moving suddenly. Now Mars is going to stay in the Ashwini Nakshatra from 27 June 2022 to 16th July 2022, and then on 16 July 2022 he enters the Bharani Nakshatra. And so the time after 16 July 2022 is when Mars will come in the same nakshatra as Rahu and Uranus. And this is a very explosive situation. First of all, it forms Angarak Yog. Think of Mars as the fire, Rahu as the oil. What happens when oil is added to fire? It inflames further. So therefore, the combination of Mars and Rahu is known as Angarak Yog, and that is strongly activated after 16th July 2022. Now we have one more member here, that is Uranus. Uranus represents eccentricity, he represents innovation, he represents out of the box thinking. He also represents the aerospace industry, airplanes. Now the sign of Aries itself is a fire sign. Mars is a fiery planet. Rahu inflames that fire. Uranus is nothing but aerospace and airplanes. So during this time, when Mars is with Rahu and Uranus, wars through aeroplanes crashing can be seen. Because this is a fire sign, so incidents related to fire will also increase in this time period. Now both Uranus and Rahu also represent innovation and out of the box thinking. And when Mars comes in combination with these two planets, Rahu and Uranus, it represents a lot of innovations, a lot of new things coming to the fore. And especially there will be a lot of progress in the aerospace industry in this time period. So that is actually a good thing. But remember that Rahu corrupts this combination, and therefore this translates into a fiery combination. You can see aeroplanes crashing, you can see wars through aeroplanes in this time period. Now another interesting thing is Mars also rules the sign of Scorpio. So once he enters Aries, he aspects the sign of Scorpio. At the same time, Jupiter also aspects Scorpio. Moon, Venus and Mercury aspect Scorpio. So you can see even Saturn is aspecting Scorpio. So almost 7 planets are aspecting Scorpio. Saturn is also aspecting Mars in Aries, and that makes it a very deadly combination. Saturn aspecting Mars, Rahu, Uranus in Aries indicates warlike situations, explosive situations across the world in this time period, that Mars remains in Aries. On 1st August 2022, Rahu and Mars will be at exact 24 degrees in the sign of Aries, and that is a very dangerous time. So I have made a separate video where I said that the world enters into an extremely dangerous zone from 1st August 2022 to 31st October 2022. Remember that the effects of this conjunction are very long lasting. They are not going to go away immediately as soon as Mars transits into Taurus. Now Mars is going to move into the next sign of Taurus on 10th August 2022. Mars will exit the Bharani Nakshatra and move into the Kritika Nakshatra on 5th August 2022. Now Kritika Nakshatra also represents fire. It is ruled by the sun. So you can see that this period from June 27, 2022 till the time Mars remains there, that is 10th August 2022, is a very explosive period. Lot of events will happen on the world stage. Why? Because Scorpio is the natural 8th house in the zodiac belt. The ruler of Scorpio, Mars, is in the 1st house. So lot of transformations, lot of secrets are going to come out in this time period. Many world leaders will be exposed in this time period. Their misdeeds will also be exposed in this time period. So from June 27th, 2022 to August 1st, 2022, August 10th, 2022, lot of transformations, lot of explosive events are going to happen on the world stage. I also see a very strong possibility of civil wars in different countries, in different parts of India also, in this time period, especially the northern regions, namely Delhi, Kashmir, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh. These are the areas where the effect will be more pronounced, more intense. Now let us look at which zodiac signs Mars is aspecting. So Mars is aspecting the sign of Cancer. You can see the orange lines which show Mars's aspects. Now the sign of Cancer is the third house for India's horoscope, and it represents India's borders, India's neighboring countries. Now Mars's fourth aspect is actually good. It provides protection. But what happens is on 12th July 2022, Saturn is retrograding and he will move back into the sign of Capricorn. So after 12th July 2022, Mars's aspect also falls on the sign of Cancer. Saturn's aspect also falls on the sign of Cancer. And this is a very dangerous situation because this is a time when enemies can attack India's borders and there could be a clash with China. Mars is putting his seventh aspect on Ketu in the sign of Libra. We know that the sign of Libra represents balance, it represents harmony, it represents partnerships. In case of India's horoscope with the Taurus ascendant, this is the sixth house, which also represents enemies, conflicts, disputes. So when Mars puts the sixth aspect on the sign of Libra, immediately what happens is within India, civil wars and conflicts can intensify. Because Mars is aspecting Ketu also here, and this is the sign of balance and harmony. So the harmony is disturbed completely. Now Mars puts the eighth aspect on the sign of Scorpio, which is his own house. But the eighth aspect of Mars is always destructive. Now in this case, when the eighth aspect falls on Scorpio, Scorpio represents buried things, hidden things. So a lot of secrets will come out in this time period. Note that 6 planets are aspecting Scorpio. You can see Jupiter aspecting Scorpio, Saturn aspecting Scorpio, Venus, Moon, Mercury, they are also aspecting Scorpio. Which means that in this time, a lot of secrets will come out related to those in power, especially those holding high positions in authority, in companies, in the government, as well as anyone who is in power. So if you are doing wrong things and you are holding a high position of power or authority, you will be exposed in this time period. Lot of secrets will come out and we will see the real face of many of the world leaders in this time period. Now, Scorpio is also the sign of occult. It is the sign which represents that you should meditate, and therefore when so many planets are aspecting Scorpio, it also represents the birth of a divine entity on our planet Earth. So some kind of divine entity is going to enter our planet Earth in this time period, and therefore this is a good time to meditate, to focus on the divine energy which will lead us closer to self-realization. So friends, while this transit does bring innovations, does bring inventions, it is equally destructive. It brings a lot of destruction in the world. The northern regions of India, as I said earlier, namely Kashmir, Delhi, Punjab, these are the areas which need to be very careful when this transit happens. Within India also, this transit can ignite civil wars and other problems. On the world stage, this transit exposes the true face of many leaders. It will bring about a lot of secrets to the open. And India especially needs to be careful with respect to dealing with China and other neighbors, especially after 12th July 2022, because at that point both Saturn and Mars are going to aspect the sign of Cancer, which will lead to disturbance on the borders. You can see Jupiter is present in the sign of Pisces. The sign of Pisces or Meen is the 12th house in the natural zodiac, and it represents isolation, liberation. Jupiter is a benefic planet. So if you meditate in this time period, if you focus your energies towards positive things, if you dedicate yourself to self realization, then this transit will not harm you. It will, on the contrary, benefit you in a big way. Let me quickly try to cover various ascendants. For the Aries ascendant, Mars is the ruler of the first house and the 8th house. He is present in the ascendant, which shows lot of transformations, lot of changes will happen in your day-to-day life. Also, you need to control your anger in this time period. Mars represents anger and aggression. Rahu inflames that anger. So by meditating, that is moving towards Scorpio, try to control your anger and things will be fine with you. Also, be careful about the partnerships you make because you have Ketu in the 7th house. Mars aspects that Ketu. So be very careful about the partnerships you make in this time period, the new contracts you sign, the new partnerships you initiate, because there could be some problem there. Now for the Taurus ascendant, Mars rules your 12th house and 7th house, and he is placed in the 12th house. So in this time, you could face losses due to certain foreign partnerships, certain foreign connections. Just be careful when you are dealing with foreign people or investing in foreign countries and having connections with foreigners in this time period. Your 12th house is highly activated, so you may be tempted to spend a lot of money in this time period. Try to avoid impulsive spending in this time period. For the Gemini ascendant, Mars rules your 6th house as well as your 11th house. So in this time period, you may get into conflicts with friends. Monetary gains will definitely happen in this time period, but be aware of unnecessary conflicts with friends and try to remain balanced in this time period. Do not take impulsive decisions in this time period. Your daily routine will definitely be affected, but try to maintain a steady daily routine, exercise daily, meditate more regularly, and things will be good for you. For the Cancer ascendant or the Kark Lagna, Mars is the ruler of your 5th house of children, love, and 10th house of career. So the 5th lord has gone into the 10th house. This is very good. You may also get promoted in your workplace in this time period, but beware of anger issues in your workplace. You also have Rahu with Mars there, and that may make you get angry towards your colleagues, your bosses, your subordinates. So control your anger and things will be fine for the Cancer ascendant. For the Leo ascendant also, this transit is very good. For the Leo ascendant or the Sinha Lagna, Mars rules the 4th house of home, peace, happiness, and the 9th house of destiny, good luck, gurus, good fortune. Now the 4th lord has gone into the 9th house. Again, this is a very good thing. So this is a good combination which gives you a lot of blessings, lot of bliss. However, because Mars is with Rahu, you may get into problems with your gurus and bosses in this time period. Take care of that and things will be fine. For the Virgo ascendant, Mars rules the 3rd house of siblings, courage, effort, short distance travels, and the 8th house of sudden events. So the 3rd lord has gone into the 8th house, which shows sudden events related to siblings, sudden events related to short distance travels taking place in your life. So do not get into fights with your siblings in this time period. Try to meditate more. Try to channelize your energies inward, and that will help you in a big way. For the Libra ascendant, Mars rules your 2nd house and your 7th house and is now transiting in your 7th house. So definitely this is going to bring some anger issues in partnerships, in relationships, be careful with this and things will be fine for you. For the Scorpio ascendant, Mars rules the first house and the sixth house. He has entered into the sixth house, which means you can get into a lot of conflicts in this time period. Try to avoid anger issues, try avoiding getting into conflicts unnecessarily. Also, take care of your health, exercise regularly, maintain a regular diet, and things will be fine for you. Your sixth house is under fire in this time period. So, a lot of your enemies will also get destroyed in this time period, which is a good thing for the Scorpio ascendant. However, you can be overly competitive in this time period because sixth house also represents competition and you can see extremely aggressive planets here. So, try to calm down, relax, and things will be fine. For Sagittarius ascendant or Dhanu Lagna, Mars rules the 12th house and the 5th house and has gone into the 5th house. So this is a good time if you want to study something new, gain new knowledge. So Mars will support you in that. However, this transit can make you get angry with your children, with your loved ones. Try to avoid this and things will be fine for you. Also, try avoiding investments into stocks, into speculative things such as futures and options because you could get losses in this time period. Try to invest more in debt instruments, in gold and other safe avenues, and things will be fine for you. Now for the Capricorn ascendant, Mars rules the 4th house and the 11th house and he's entered into the 4th house. So this is a period where there could be some disturbances in your home environment, in your mother's health. But nevertheless, this period is also going to give you a lot of gains in the form of property and wealth. For the Aquarius ascendant, Mars rules the 3rd house and the 10th house of profession and career. And Mars has now entered into the 3rd house. So this is a period when your relationships with your siblings might come under strain. If you work hard in this time period, you will definitely get a lot of gains in your profession and in your career. So this is actually a good transit for you. For the Pisces ascendant or Meen Lagna, Mars rules the 2nd house of wealth and family and he rules the 9th house of gurus, teachers and good fortune. And he has entered into the 2nd house of wealth. So definitely this is a period where Mars is going to increase your wealth manifold. But because Rahu is there with Mars within the family, there can be lot of disputes. So try to avoid that. So friends, this is a short analysis of Mars transit in Aries from 27 June 2022 to 10th August 2022. If you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. For any consultations, email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and we'll be glad to assist you. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe.